Is that you?
The note takers today, He's not interested.
Welcome to Lethal Sales Live for the weekly podcast for car people who play to WIN. Nope.
So good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. I got it right today, I think. There was a lot going on last week, and I was having a lot of side conversations. So maybe I was having too much fun, which is the topic today. That's why I didn't get it done last week. So anyone who was watching live last week, sorry it took about 10 minutes for me to get it handled. But Larry, I know you don't have any fun in car business. It's just all serious. It's accounting. It's, we got to get it done. We got to make sure the numbers are right. You never have any fun, right?
I say it all the time. If you're not having fun, why show up?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was having too much fun. I was telling Ron I was having too much fun posting on LinkedIn with some political satire, and I had the right people upset that I could then remove from my LinkedIn network because they couldn't handle comedy. And I have to say, it brings up another point, which I think is hilarious. Has anyone seen any good new comedy? Like, I haven't seen much. Like, nobody has the ability to laugh at the absurdity in the world anymore on any side. Like, I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it.
You're completely wrong. I saw brilliant comedy the last couple of days.
Oh, okay.
The Democrats who have gerrymandered their states to the point where no matter what the Republicans get voted in, they get almost nothing, are now up in arms because Texas wants to gerrymander. I mean, if that's not funny in a sad way, I don't know what the hell is.
Well, what's even worse is that Adam Sandler had all these celebrities on his movie.
Yeah.
And it was kind of boring. I mean,
I agree.
It was, I was great. It was great to see Connecticut. I mean, we had plenty of Connecticut sightings, but it had wonderful. But I mean, you're absolutely right, Ian. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen anything that I could laugh where I could belly laugh. You couldn't get over it, and we don't have that anymore.
If you need comedy this week, we'll call Mike Larkin on vacation, and I'll handle the AI stuff. Then you'll see some pretty funny results.
And we're gonna really laugh.
and that was what I think why you have to have fun though, right?
Ian,
like, how can you take it so seriously, man?
Ian, all kidding aside, this happened to me today, and I think it dials into our topic. One of the things I do in class, guys and ladies, is I ask everybody what their philosophy is. I'm trying to find out what motivates them. Is it God? Is it their family? Is it trying to prove to their brothers and sisters that they're better? And a young lady, great attitude, I think I'm going to get her hired. By the way, had 21 people, Jeff Shearer. Darren McClay is going to be thrilled. I mean, the guy that owns the 4 shops said, I can't believe you got this many people. So it was a win-win. So this young lady in the second row stands up, and she starts talking about her inner child. Now, I believe you've all read my book. I have a whole chapter on the inner child. When we're kids, we think everything's funny. When we're kids, we think everything is possible, right? I mean, kids want to play. As adults, we sometimes lose that touch. We lose that idea of, why not? Why can't I be one of the Beatles? Why can't I be an astronaut? And we really don't spend a lot of time trying to have fun, which is sad, because I think if you make people have fun, if you have fun, they're going to have fun. And my boy Russell Hill will agree with me. It's real.
Damn it, don't get me started, because the older they get, the more beat down they get. That you can't do that. I tried that. That won't work. And the older they get, because I can pull dreams out of people and given the right circumstances, but the older they get, the closer to the heart they keep it, because it's emotional to them. It's what they thrived on. And then they got busy trading their time for money. and everybody started hammering them. You can't have that. You can't do this. You can't do that. Then somebody gets pregnant. Next thing you know, there's 4 or 5 kids, and it's like it's still there. And anybody that can revive it, I mean, the feelings that come, they're much more emotional the older you get when you start pulling that stuff out of people.
Russell, it's the suspension of disbelief.
Yes.
It's the suspension of why can't I do it? I always love to tell this story when I'm in a class and I see people saying they're nervous, and I tell them there's nothing to be nervous about. In 100 years, we'll all be dead, and none of this crap will matter. Okay.
But it matters now.
Well, hold on. You'll like this. I'm on a phone call with a guy from South Carolina. I'll never forget it. And he's called me and talked to me 10 times. He's got 5 dealerships, and he wants me to come in and do a massive recruiting and training. And I finally said to him, I was sitting at the dinner table with my wife. I said, "Can I ask you what the hell you're waiting for?" Well, I said, "Man, you don't understand. You're on the phone with the world's greatest trainer recruiter." You bust out laughing. He says, "I got to tell you, you're really cocky, but I checked 5 of your references. They all said you're nuts, but you're terrific." I said, "Listen, I'm going to get you more people than you've ever seen in your life. It's going to look like Woodstock from the air. Okay? Send me a damn check. Let's get," and he says, "You won me over." I hang up. My wife says, "Who do you know in South Carolina?" I said, "Nobody." "Have you ever been to South Carolina?" "No." But if I call anybody on this panel, and I'm friendly with all of you, and I say, "Jeff Shearer, you ain't going to like this," he already doesn't like it. If we don't have a positive projection, Russell, I would love to tell you that all my clients tell you how intelligent I am or how analytical, but that would be a lie. They all say the same thing. I like your energy, and I like how much fun you bring. That's all we need.
Yeah.
Because if you make people feel good about themselves, how hard is it, everybody on this panel, to get in an argument with somebody when you're smiling? It's impossible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
if we don't have fun, nothing else matters.
It gets me excited. I'm going to have to go make a cup of coffee for this one. Listen,
and if you can't,
I started at 5:45 this morning, and I can't even, Mike, an apology for not following up, and Wendy for popping in so late to the. I've been right here since 5:45, right here, tuned in, and I still have a little bit more to do. But I'm really having the time of my life. It's just hard to keep up with everything. And time
You better take a bio break because you got Larry on fire tonight.
Yeah, all right. Well, you do that. I'm gonna go. All you out there listening, are we streaming?
yes, we are absolutely.
Okay, all you streamers, just hang on. I'm gonna go get some coffee.
And if anybody that's out there believes with this crew that there's no liquor in that coffee, they ain't paying.
And Gary,
Okay,
Gary,
hold on.
Gary, I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you, Gary. Oh, go ahead. Gary, I have to agree with you that Happy Gilmore too, like, talk about just a wasted opportunity.
There ain't
Like-
no caddyshack.
Like what happened, dude?
Well, they said daily everything that he was doing had to be sitting. I guess he hurt his back,
Oh,
or he's
okay.
got to have some kind of surgery,
Yeah.
and so he was sitting the whole time. There's nothing like when Rodney Dangerfield did Caddyshack, or when Eddie Murphy and those Dan Aykroyd did Trading Places.
Oh, what a great movie.
Or I can go back into when Mel Brooks was writing Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now
you could
God
sit
bless
there
him.
and your whole family could be laughing hysterical. And it was funny. And you didn't even, and then you would watch All in the Family.
Yeah.
And then it would be like, oh boy, for these people today, if they ever had to watch an All in the Family episode, oh my goodness.
But again, it's the best time ever to do that. Like, because nobody's doing it. Just imagine the amount of money you would make if you just took the risk. Like, take the risk. Like, I have to give Dave Chappelle credit. No matter what people say about the guy, he takes the risk. It's like, hey, man, like, I make fun of everything. I don't care. And he says, what did he say? I think in the last one, he said, these jokes write themselves. They're so obvious.
Comedy is essential to
Yeah.
democracy,
Oh, yeah.
because you have to be able to poke fun at our leaders, because you don't get the chance to do that in Cuba. You don't see columnists making funny cartoons about unless they want to get executed.
Oh yeah.
But
You don't see a lot in Muslim countries, but you could. I mean, it might be dangerous.
But it's not bad completely. One of the guys on this panel is as technically gifted as anybody I've had the pleasure to meet. It's Jeff Shearer. Every other day, Jeff Shearer sends me something. It's not an analytical description. It's not it's a cartoon. It's a meme, or it's a video of an old rock band. So when I see a Jeff Shearer text, right away I know I'm going to have fun. Okay? And I think Jeff jumps into these shows and recommends me like a maniac because he knows the people are going to call him and say, I like this guy. He worked hard, and more importantly, had fun. Fun is everything. And you're all right. It's disappeared in so many ways because we've forget about the politics of it. We've let political correctness run wild. If you can't laugh at yourself, if you take yourself too seriously, where are we as a society?
Well, yeah, there's a great guy who posts on LinkedIn, and he posts these historic photos of different things. He's like, do you remember this? You had a good childhood. Do you know what this is?
Yeah, right.
And it's like random stuff. But again, like if you think about it, I think we've just become too serious. And I think, one of the reasons I got in the car business was it was an enjoyable thing to do. It wasn't like every day was going to be the same as yesterday. I wasn't building widgets. I was having fun with people, and that generally made my day interesting. And I think the problem today is all this like, oh, well, it's got to be this way. And it can't be a little bit outside of this or a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. It's got to be this. And that's just not interesting. It just isn't.
In the 90s, in the 90s, I worked for Herb Chambers.
Okay, yeah.
And we had Mitsubishi, Mazda, and Hyundai in Hartford, Connecticut.
Yep.
And it was, typical inner city, everyone good credit, bad credit. When you had teams and you had sales managers and everybody was selling cars and everybody was having fun, and Saturdays, people were thrilled to get there for the 8:30 meeting when we talked about the bonuses and who was going to get cash bonus. I mean, I haven't seen a dealership except like those guys. There's a few guys. There's the guys in the Germain group and do really cool, funny stuff. But they've lost it. It's not fun going in and buying a car. Most people dread it. I was just reading an article. They'd rather have dental work than go in to buy a car. And you're right. It's now where hopefully you see the rebranding, where not only do they clean up their data, they redo their websites, but they add fun back into it, and they make it where, they make it an enjoyable. They take care of the kids and give them things to do and keep everybody occupied while mom and dad or whoever's looking at the vehicle. The showrooms need to be much more creative.
Hey, Garrett, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but dental work can be fun. My brother-in-law getting it without anesthesia, I find that extremely amusing.
But my last point, and then we'll move on. Have you seen a nice Mazda showroom lately? Have you been into the new redos?
Yeah, pretty stark.
Right. Look great.
I think they look like a little cafe. And it's not your traditional tables.
Yeah.
I find it to be very inviting. I find it to be a much cooler environment where you can sit down and talk to somebody in a comfortable chair. And it just that design is just what I see is a much more interactive. You don't need to have 10 cars in the showroom. You need to have more chairs and comfort where people can look and do research.
Right.
And so those are the things, and that's how you make it fun, because you're engaging, and now everything's open. You're not hiding behind the desk, the big glass desk that nobody can go behind.
Well, I have a funny story. I was in this dealership in Montana, and we were trying to talk to the general manager or something about something. So the general manager's office was behind glass, and the glass had like a film on it so you couldn't see through it. It's a huge dealership. And so I said to the receptionist, I said, so does the general manager ever come out of there? Or is he just like watching on cameras? Or like, what is he doing? It was like the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I always think of that guy. I think he's on LinkedIn. He does these crazy videos that are almost like parodies of TV shows from like the 80s that had car ads on them. And I'm trying to think the name of the group, but he does it almost every day. And he has a hell of a lot of fun doing it. But more importantly, he gets a lot of attention because he's not the other guy. He's not the guy saying, "Oh, let's do a walk around of this Toyota that we have." Like, I mean, that's just not. I mean, it would almost be hilarious for Jaguar to say, "Yeah, we were just kidding about the redesign."
That would be smart.
It was all just a big joke. It's like New Coke. Like, we're not making this. Like, that's no way that we're gonna do that.
That in itself is funny because if you think about it, they pay people a fortune to market them, and they don't get it wrong. They get it catastrophically wrong.
Oh yeah,
Jeff, you've been around me in a restaurant, and you know I subsist on Coca-Cola and iced tea. Live on it. I don't know that there's a bigger Coca-Cola drinker on the planet Earth than me. Just, I love it.
Yeah.
When they did New Coke, when they announced it this morning, I went and I bought the 12-ounce bottles. I bought 30 cases, and my mom thought I was crazy. It's a long time ago, and I stashed them in my basement. Why would you take a product that was I mean, you talk about America, it's Chevrolet, it's apple pie, it's Coca-Cola, and blow it out of the water.
Yeah.
If you buy a Jaguar, you're not poor. You're on the wealthy side, and the car was always built on prestige and how well it drove. And why would you put a bunch of clown show people out there dressed in each other's clothes with no car in the commercial?
Yeah.
So what's really funny is they
Because here's why. Because Sydney just does jeans. That's all.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Those jeans, huh?
By the way, if the delineation is she's a Nazi, you're officially looking at a Jewish Nazi. Because I could put that.
Of course she's a Nazi. She's got a German Shepherd. Of course she is.
There we go.
she's a car girl. Did you see? She's got
I
a
saw she was a car girl, right?
vintage cars that she works on. She actually does hands-on car work. I'm very impressed.
Like what's it, like a Jeep or a Bronco? I caught that too.
Yeah, and she's got like
Stillman. Well, no, this is
some
important.
fancier ones.
Stillman, if she's in a commercial with a car and you're spending 1 second looking at the car instead of her, man, they'll want to have a long talk with you.
Exactly.
I didn't even notice there was a damn car in the commercial.
but I didn't. What I didn't understand about that is you're selling jeans. When has it not been a case where models
racist and Nazi? The backdrop is a huge billboard in Times Square in Manhattan with Beyonce doing the same thing for Levi's.
For Levi's, yeah.
You know, like the Gap did that. You Pick Your Brand did all this stuff, but more importantly, the thing that was hilarious to me was if it had been a black woman or a transgender man doing it, there wouldn't have been any backlash. There would have been, that's inclusive. Like, I mean, they could almost have made a parody.
All things blue jeans.
But they almost could have made a parody and say, we were going to shoot this, but instead of shooting this, we decided to shoot this. Pick your poison,
guys, because
pick your poison.
They're already all the places you got this streaming in. They're already leaving.
As I heard on the Jeffersons, also a funny show. Let the doorknob hit you, where the good Lord split you.
Whoa, you better edit that out.
Wait, where's my jar? Where's my jar?
So how do you fix the lack of fun? Like, how do you solve that problem? Like, how do you bring that back?
You have a meeting and you say, gentlemen and ladies, we want to have fun. Because if we have fun and if we smile, our customers will have fun and they'll smile. And it's much easier to make people in a buying mood, in a relaxed mood, if they're smiling at you. If you're not having fun, why show up?
There's a dealer in Massachusetts, in Holyoke. His name's Gary Rome Hyundai.
I was in a dealer 20 group with him when I had my Cadillac Hyundai store. Great guy, very big on his dog.
So he has 2 Weimaraners, and this guy is a true leader, and his dad taught him well. And you walk into one of his dealerships, you're greeted and the dealership is beautiful. It's lined up. It's organized. And where's the dog? And everybody, so now he bought a piece of property, and then he made a car wash and a dog wash. So now he's got people bringing their dogs and their pets coming to the dealership and going over and getting their dogs washed. So that's a fun environment. And so is Gary Rome more talented than any other dealers? I mean, I'm sure he's very talented. He's very smart, but what he does is he goes to the community and he never stops. And he goes into some of the local schools and he reads. So he's a face of the dealership, and you get treated properly everywhere you go when you're on any of his lots. He has another dealership in Connecticut. His Hyundai store is in Massachusetts, and that's a welcoming environment.
Yeah, but the difference is there's dealerships to this day. Oh, the owner's coming.
Well,
when Gary Rome walks through the showroom, they're happy to see him.
Well, those are dealerships that are still run by the old hierarchy. And if you still have that hierarchy where everybody's petrified of senior management, you've got a problem with senior management, because that needed to leave. Because the owner, they don't need to be your best friends, but they want the good owners, the best owners out there. They know everybody. They know their lot kids. They know the office people. And those are the guys and gals and people that run dealerships that people want to go work for and they want to do business with. And that's what it was. I mean, Herb Chambers, he wanted a better solution to everybody, and Herb built a major organization. And if you didn't work under the Herb Chambers guidelines, you weren't a part of the organization. What do we get up here? Somebody just threw something up there. Did they hack me?
Don't think so.
Hey, why don't we roll through everybody, because I'd love to hear everybody's opinion. Jeff Shearer, man, you busy as you are and technical as you are, you're always sending me cool memes, funny cartoons. I bet you've seen dealerships that were too tense and dealerships that were fun and relaxed, and I guarantee you the fun, relaxed ones were more successful. Agree?
Feel it when you talk to somebody. We had recent service at the Lexus dealer with my wife's car, and usually when you go in, everybody's on the phone in the service department, so you barely get eye contact. And I think they put the newbies out on a high top with a laptop in the service lounge, so before they get a desk. And this girl just happened to single out my wife and I. Oh, how you guys doing? Can I help point anybody out or something like that, right? She engaged us, which second car I bought from this dealer, I've been there a lot. First time somebody's done that, and she walked us over, to our service advisor. And I mean, she took control instead of just pointing, right? We talked about that. Where's the restroom? Oh, it's over there in the corner. Come on, let me show you.
What's Disney? You're already talking Disney. You're already talking Disney.
And what does that take? It takes people that care, and people, like you said, that want to be there today for work, not have to be there, have the privilege of working there. And you know what? We're not always, besides Larry, 110% happy all the time, but, we don't have to be down. Even if you're neutral, you'll get by for today, but, just kick it up a notch, man.
Yeah.
People don't want to be there usually to get their car serviced. It's not a fun thing because it's taking up time.
Yeah.
A lot of times taking up money, and it's not the first place they choose to be. Now, this dealership, and I posted videos of it, is like a showcase store for Lexus.
They have an upstairs with a theater, pool table, a manned coffee bar. I mean, it's gorgeous. So it's not too bad if you get stuck there.
Well,
But
Herb built one, and it was like it looked like you were walking into a lobby of a beautiful hotel. I mean, because you could drive your car into the lanes, and that was a build for Lexus, and they wanted everybody getting out inside the driving lane in that glass building, and then they put you through, and then they let you go up and sit there. Of course you want to be there. And then they're beautiful Lexuses. Those are beautiful showrooms. They're well made.
can you do that in a Chevy or a Mazda store? Well,
Of
maybe
course you
not,
can.
but a Chevy or Toyota store, you're probably not going to find that kind of
Well,
experience.
let me give you an example. Let me give you an example.
People need to turn it up a notch. Beaver Toyota's got a pretty nice.
Beaver Toyota does an awesome job. Those guys, they make it fun. And that guy, he's hysterical. And
Thank you very much.
Let me give you an example from a Chev store, because this was one that kind of surprised me. I worked with this Chev store, and he had, those Revolution things that they have at car shows back in the day where they revolve. So I walk in the store, beautiful showroom, had like this glass staircase and waterfall and stuff, but they had these old classic Chevys that were on these turntables in the showroom. So I went in, the first time I was in the store, and I was talking to the receptionist. I'm like, what's with those? Oh, those are for sale. So he went out, he was an Italian guy, so he was interested in buildings anyway. But he went out and he sourced, classic American Chevrolet products or Cadillac or whatever. But he would sell, he bought them by a large volume, and he would retail them like new cars. But they were an attention grabber for the showroom because people would come in and go, what's that? Right? Because it wasn't what was new. It was something else that he had that was on brand. And I thought it was a really interesting way to look at it.
Fun doesn't have to be laughed out loud.
Yeah.
Fun can be bringing something different, which starts our brain to think in a different direction. Hey, you know what? Let's make sure we get Wendy and Abdul and my man Russell in. What are you? Fred runs around as Santa Claus. I don't know what could be more fun or more relaxing than that. Tell us what your opinion is of fun and how neglected it is in so many places, and what you've done to make BDCs more fun.
So I think that it's seriously neglected nowadays. And I think part of the reason for that is the misunderstanding between departments about the actual roles or what we're all there for, like BDC. So I'm going to equate it to what we did back under the rooftop, all right? Back 10 years, as few as 10 or as many as 20 years ago. Like with our centralized BDC that was centralized since 2007 back in Amada when we very first began, we had one room and we did sales and service BDC together in one room. And we kind of wrote the books as we went along. We started out with legal pads and rulers and pens and auto base and who's calling and all those tools. And it became, especially on Saturdays, the GM was always like, I'm trying to use a certain term and not another term because of current HR concerns. The GM used to inspire us to do better, let's call it, on Saturdays, right?
Yeah.
So,
Did
super
that equate to saying the beatings will continue until morale improves?
No, actually, it was he needed to crack the whip, but I actually got called as a consultant into HR for that because it was supposedly now a racial slur. Go figure. But anyway, yeah, I know, ridiculous, right? Anyway, my point is, we used to do things like after lunch, after sales would fill us up with the leftover pizza that they finally remembered to tell us about. Everybody would be wanting to go into these food comas. So I used to encourage them. I'd hit the phones, I'd man the phones, and they'd do a Chinese fire drill around the building that we were in. We were in the Mazda store. That's where our main BDC was. The Hyundai store was across the parking lot. The used car superstore was across the street. The other stores were in other areas, suburbs of the Milwaukee area. And they used to do Chinese fire drill, and they'd go out together, goofing around and laughing and running around the building, doing a couple laps and having fun and just kind of laughing and getting out of that food coma, oh my God, is it 5 o'clock yet mentality. So that was fun. like, I think that we are wrong when we think that it's the young generation that doesn't, like Russell, to your point, people get set in their ways when they get to be our age, but you and I are, all of us in this room that are 60 something are, or close to, we're all progressive, we're all futuristic, we're all fun, we're all thinking outside the box, we're all who we are, and we are anything but conformists. We're non-conformists, right? So I don't think we can tie anything to a certain age range, but because I'm willing now more than ever to try new things and to go outside the norm, just because I'm a MacGyver and I like to just figure stuff out. And it's a challenge for you to tell me that something's not going to work the way it is. I was talking about this morning in the human side of AI. I got into the coding and the lead gen, you guys, from getting data from Go High Level to Bali, for example, and the two techies were telling me it couldn't be done. Maloney, let me get in there. Get us on a call, the three of us. Boom, we knocked it out. It's super simple. It's the same way we did it 20 years ago. We just need to get all the concerned parties in the same room. And that's the problem. We're still siloed. Even our tech providers for our tools that need to work together are siloed. Get us all in a room together. Let's bang it out together. That's what we're missing. Again, it's the human side. Again, it's the people helping people. We have to start being people helping people within our own dealership under the rooftop in order for us to learn to embody that mindset and be able to deliver that to our vendor partners and to our customers, because it's who we are. We're at the core, people helping people. It's not one software, one company trying to do a one-up on the next one to prove that they've got the best solution. How about we just good, best, bad, worst? Let's find the culture, the custom solution for each rooftop and find out what their customers are saying, what they need to do. But let's first embody that mindset from within. I don't know if that makes sense. Also, the problem with this was the young guy who was set in his way that thought that he knew the other software better because he's a brilliant person for his own software. So we have to get past biases and ego and everything else. We have to work together to make it fun. Like, I'll show you a great example. Right away, I thought of Erica Bruno Martin. If you've ever read her posts on LinkedIn, she's an amazing, brilliant young woman. Some of you have had her on your podcast.
Yeah.
If you haven't yet, I would recommend it. And she's with, who's she with now? Rapid Recon, I think, or something. I'm not sure. But she's got a BDC background too. And I'm gonna land my plane here in a minute. So she had a post where she said, hey, beep, beep. And she was sharing something about Amazon or somebody that you'll be able to buy pre-owned and CPO vehicles there. And her lead-in was, hey, beep, beep. So I completely ignored the topic, and in my comment, I said, no, it's hey, toot, beep, beep. It's hey, toot, beep, beep. It's Donna Summer lyrics, right? So I made that reference in the post, and she responds to, I go, no, it's hey, toot, beep, beep. And I said, that is all. And she responded the next day, she said, thank God you're the only one that got the reference. So I didn't care. I wasn't responding to the post. I just want to have a little fun and make her giggle. And apparently she did. So I'm landing my plane right there.
Was it Bad Girls? Was it Bad? What was this? What was the song? Bad Girls?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Garrett, before I jump in with Russell, I want to defend Russell's concept. I think what he was saying, Wendy, is the battle we all have to do in life, among others, is to beat down cynicism, is to not let the fact that some bad stuff happened. Colors. I had a guy once say, we had a trainer in once, it didn't work. I said, that's like saying you went on a bad date, you never went on a date again.
You're right.
I have managers that I train people, and they stand up and say, I got to tell you up front, only 1 in 4 you're going to make it. What a negative thing to throw, as opposed to saying, I'm going to give you your full support. I'm going to push you. I'm going to make every one of you successful. Maybe 1 in 4 makes it, but how about the guy that's on the fence or lacks a little confidence, and you're letting him know up front you're probably going to fail. So it's just a matter. I'm really good at battling cynicism. No matter how beat up I get, no matter what happens, I'm saying I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm better off than a lot of other people. I got an attitude of gratitude, and I'm going to have some fun, be a little crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
I think all Russell was saying is the battle has to be against the cynicism. I mean, Russell certainly isn't a cynical guy. Everywhere he goes, he spreads cheer. But I just think he was saying that a lot of people lose the battle and get tired of all the slings and arrows and just fall into a kind of negative complacency. Am I right, Russell? I think that's what you were saying.
Let me cap that really quick.
Russell, you're muted, just so you know.
You're muted, so I'm taking it as an opportunity to quick jump in. I had a young guy that was like that too, though, Russell. He was so battered with the wrong solutions for his lead management that he had the right solution on the hook, but he wasn't getting out of our way. He hired us and then wouldn't get out of our way. Kept insisting in a CRM with AI that we do 100 texts and 100 phone calls a day when we were banging out 10 appointments a day and we were having meaningful conversation. So that guy was just so battered by the wrong things. They're all looking for a silver bullet or a magic pill still. That's what went on.
Now I'm going to build on. Not wait, before Russell, I know we keep jumping on you because it's conversations getting circular in a good way. The reason that it's more dangerous for young people battling cynicism is they're not prepared for any battle. Because when they educate people, oh, you have to have safe spaces and we can't introduce that and it's not right. Man, we grew up, we got a million things that hit us in the head.
Well,
The stuff that they don't allow kids to go through and the things that they don't allow them to think about prepare them for nothing when they get into battle, when they get into the real world. I mean, look at the damn crazy courses they teach in college. You come out with $100,000 debt and you're not prepared to do anything. I'm sorry, Russ. It's just I like the direction we're going with this. Please
go ahead, Russell.
Well, I've lost. I don't know where I'm at. I had many talking points, and now for whatever reason, I feel like I'm off track. So somebody help me get back on track. And
Well,
I
have an example.
Allow me to extrapolate out. You're a gentleman that had some pitfalls in life, got past them, got the right mentor, and rolled through.
Yeah. Okay.
You had every reason to be cynical.
Yes, that's right.
But you didn't.
Okay, now I'm on fire. Okay, this is the most dangerous place in the world right here. The 6 inches between the ears. So I'm going to share this. Some of you already know this, but I'm going to give you a quick condensed version. Okay, of obstacles. Yeah, everybody, you don't understand. I suffer from terminal uniqueness. My situation's different. You were blessed. I spent 6.5 years locked up. 7 treatment programs, 2 halfway houses. I was strung out on methamphetamine and you name it from the time I was 11 years old to the time I was 34 years old. Okay. And it's like, okay, the last grade that I actually completed was the 8th grade. I didn't even make it out of junior high. And I have a multi-million-dollar company because I quit listening to people. I had somebody like all of you in this room that say, you know what? All my life, I was surrounded by people who said, you can't do that. I tried that. That won't work. And they got interrupted by somebody. Oh, but you had this. Yeah. No. I got my ass to work. That's what I did. I tapped into what was really going on in here. Okay. And that is, if it is to be, it's up to me. And I set some lofty, a success is a progressive realization of a worthwhile dream, but you have to have goals and it has to go from vapor to paper. It just does. Okay. I got them all over my office. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better than your better. I got so many of these things. It's not even funny. But what I realized was that wherever I wanted to go started right now today. And there's only 3 combinations that I believe that separate the definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. We talk, David Long, we all talk about it in different rooms. It's like, I know where somebody's going to be 30 days from now based upon the last 30 days when I'm talking to them. I know. Well, how do you know that? There's only 3 things that make a difference. What you read, what you listen to, and who you associate with. And you have to protect this with everything, okay? The hard drive gets corrupt so fast, it's not even funny. You got blue screens and you're spiraling out of control and you're reaching out for help. No, it is up to you. It is up to you. If you want it, go get it. Well, how do you start by it changing the input, which will dictate different output. If not, unfortunately, you're left to everything you've ever seen, heard, read, and done up until this moment. And if you don't change a combination of all three of those things, I know where you're going to be next year and the year after that. Wake up. It is important that we take control of our own lives. If you have a flat tire and you're waiting for somebody to change it, or maybe you go, hey, I think I can do this. That's all I'm talking about. Take responsibility. When I hear people blaming, it's not my fault, you don't understand, they don't get it. Now, I love those people, and I'll try to move them in a direction, okay? And most of the time, I'm unsuccessful, but I love them where they're at. Maybe I planted a seed, and then they meet Larry or Mike or Ian or somebody else in this room, and they go, okay, wow, yeah, okay, I remember that. Because my mentor told me this, and I know some of you guys have heard this, but some of you out there have. And when I met my first, which I have many of, if the branches are bare, au contraire, don't go there. And my mentor, the first one I met, major successful lawyer, entrepreneur, networker, etc. I got to know him on the outside, and I asked him for if I could take him to lunch, and he accepted. And this is a guy that's a mover and shaker and motivator. But I wanted to find out, did his insides match his outsides? And they did. And he looked at me and he said, Russell, are you willing to do the things that other people are not willing to do? So you can have and become the things that most people will never have and never become. Now, I got to tell you, there's a spiritual, not a religious, there's a spiritual component to that, because I had a wake-up call when nothing worked in my addiction. And I'm close to celebrating 31 years clean and sober. Not just clean. I have a new way of living life, okay? And things that I can tap into, and the energy. I choose to be in rooms like this to tap into this type of energy, because these people believe in me. Whether you know about my past or you don't, I think sometimes it's a great reference point, because people say, you know what, my God, if he can do it, I can do it too. But I was one of those people for years and years and years. I would go to a function, I'd get all bought up, and during the break, I'd go out and spend $1,000 of money I didn't have to buy books and material that I had no intention. At the moment, I had the intention of digging into, yeah, I'm going to do this.
100%.
And I didn't. Are you one of those people? Because you don't have to be. That's what I wanted to say.
Russell.
Russell, well done, man.
Paul Meyer on.
We got Paul. Paul's doing a restaurant show in the background.
We're talking about how important it is to have fun in your life, in work, and how dealerships have drained a lot of the fun out of it. Do you have anything to add, my friend? We seem to have lost your visual, but now we've got your mic off.
Hold on a second. I don't know what happened to the.
He's doing some teppanyaki stuff going on in the back there. Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe Hana?
Just can't see it. Go ahead.
Oh, there we go.
There you
Here
are.
now, right?
He cut his line.
All right. No, hold on.
Too much fire.
Oh, can you hear? Can you hear
Yeah.
me?
You're
Yeah.
perfect. You're be
All
quiet.
right, great.
Show the guy in the back chopping up the onion.
He's the hibachi guy, and he's got all his fingers, so we're good. So my goal in life is to have as much fun legally allowed between now and when I die, and I have a pretty good jump start on.
Can I jump on this? Because I want to show what happens when two guys are as nuts as we are. A couple years ago, I had the extreme pleasure of befriending, or he befriended me, Paul Meyer. And we struck up the kind of instant friendship. I can say, luckily, I've had the same thing with Russell and Mike and everybody else. I'm in the midst of it with Abdul. Jeff Shear and I are close. And I said to Paul Meyer, you should come see my band play. Now, Paul drove down with his dog, took a hotel room, fed the dog, put him in good position, and came with his wife to see the band. Now, Russell, any normal human being would say, my good friend Paul Meyer's wife. And you all know she has a world-famous yarn shop. So of course, I announced to the crowd that the yarn shop was a cover for her opium den. She answered the call, and she turned to him and said, "We drove down from Connecticut for this? How much damn fun did we have, Paul?"
Larry, every meal you and I have had, we've had tremendous fun. When are you coming back to Connecticut?
Very soon. Harry Silman tried, and Mike Larkin tried to get a petition to ban me from the state. Two dealers admitted they only pay me to leave, not to come, but we are working around it.
The
And I will-
governor wouldn't sign it.
Yeah,
Now we have the most fun.
we do. We do.
When we, how about when we went out to dinner with Mezzanine Door
Yeah,
at that other restaurant?
it's
No.
gotta be intentional, Paul. You gotta think, I want to have fun. Hey, listen, another guy that's been on the show, I'm down here, I'm kicking butt, but Jeff, I had 21 people in a class for tire salespeople. And who did I have dinner with? Chris Snellgrove. Some of you know him, he's Reputation Sensei. We laughed our butts off for an hour. If you get up in the morning and say, I'm gonna make progress, I'm gonna make money, and I'm gonna have fun, look how far ahead of the game you are. You're erasing Thoreau's "most men lead lives of quiet desperation." Paul, thank you so much for joining us, man.
You're welcome.
By the way, we've got a new guitar player in the band who's fabulous, but the only gig he couldn't play with us is December. So a buddy of mine that you all know came to hear the band, fell in love with the band, and Stan Scher is actually going to sit in with us on December 27th when we play John and Peters. So once again, you network, you have some fun, you take a swing. Well, let's get Abdul in here. Abdul?
Yeah.
Let's talk about having fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's great hearing all these stories, and for me,
Oh, wait. Let me preface it. If
Sure.
you don't think Abdul is into having fun, Rhonda recently uncovered that he's not really an Indian. He's from New Jersey. He just the accent was sexy.
thanks. No, it for me was a lot of fun because just coming in college time during in Los Angeles, being in the high-rise building with so many different executives and everything else, but coming into the car business from 8 years or 9 years of chasing cold calls, doing cold calls and insurance, for me, car business became really a huge blessing because clients come to you. You get your Alps and you get the thing, but biggest thing is, like I said, it's like you gotta have fun doing what you're doing because you love what you're doing. You'll always have fun. You'll always be 15-20 minutes early to the job. And one of the great things that we always did was I made sure, especially when I got my own team, and we always got together once a week. We always shared a meal together, whether it was breakfast, early morning, we'll get together like 7:30, or for lunch at noon before the shift. And that was the whole thing. It's just you gotta have fun and enjoy the day because it goes by fast. The sooner, especially when you're a high stress situation of sales and meeting quotas and meeting goals. But if you set up step by step and make it a fun day each time, and most people would tell me my competition on the crew in the sales office would always say Abdul seems to always have the most fun because we would sell more, and the more relaxed you are, the less pressure you feel.
Abdul, it's not the job that goes by fast, it's life that goes by fast.
But
There isn't anybody on this damn show that doesn't feel like they're 17 years old still.
Yeah.
You're not enjoying the journey, which is a short journey when you compare it to the measure of time. What the hell are you doing?
Before you know it, 10 years goes by. Before you know it, the year goes by. Look at it this year. I mean, we're in the second half of the year, and you're right. You're absolutely right. Take each day, and it's all about being positive and knowing that you're going to do your best and give it your best, and no shortcuts to anything. But if you don't enjoy life, then it becomes even more burdensome.
Yeah, like
Hey, if you don't mind, you know who I'd like to jump to? Rhonda. Rhonda has to put up with me.
Yeah.
I'm beyond intense. I call her all hours of the day and night. She's got to track the people we're recruiting from, the people we're training, the pictures, the posts. She's the referee on this darn show. Rhonda, what are you doing? What do you enjoy the most? Where do you derive the most fun? And just tell us your magic theorem, because I've never seen you be anything less than effective, and you've been through some hard knocks. Her daughter is in Israel. She lays awake at night worrying about it. She just had another baby. And yet, if you see Rhonda, I mean, she's always smiling.
She is.
Okay. Well, I don't sell cars. I don't work in a place where there's a lot of people. I get up super early in the morning. One reason is because when I work with Sarah, she's 7 hours ahead. So the intense work that I do is 3, 4, 5 a.m. And to break it up, I am on Facebook, seeing what scrolls by, and typically around then you will see me post a meme, because some of them actually make me laugh out loud. So I've become the queen of the memes on Facebook, and if you want to see some really good ones, follow me on Facebook.
What? Oh, Jeff Shear's sharing something.
Great.
What are you
Something
sharing?
happened with streaming. It disappeared.
No, Jeff Shear's sharing something. Jeff, are you,
Yeah, we get really great memes from Jeff too.
All the time.
are you gonna share us something there, Jeff? Is that what you're bringing up?
Well, I have this new note taker that I'm trying to turn off.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna share a meme. I was like, wow, a meme from Jeff.
I don't know if it's funny or sad, but Jeff Shearer has hung around with me so long, he's losing his technical prowess.
I was like, the AI is doing something. I don't know what's going on there.
On that program.
You just blew my mind.
I thought there was like a meme he was bringing up. I was like, wow, that's timely.
My computer has the it's getting hacked.
Let's not go there. That's what happened to us last week.
Yeah, well, I used to have an AI that took notes and I couldn't get rid of it, but I finally found out how to do that. But Zoom does that, just in case you wanted to know. Zoom has a feature if you want to do that. It's already
By the
baked
way,
into it.
I'm very into positive self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right.
And what's interesting is, I think we'll all agree, and Rhonda, you never worked at a dealership, but trust me when I tell you, when it's slow, it's the worst place on earth.
Yeah.
The negativity, the pain. If there was a prison break and they went into a car dealership that was slow, they'd call the warden and say, lock me back up. Okay?
Yeah, don't make me spend any more time in that building.
Right. On the other hand, when you're hot, when you're selling cars, it might be the most fun job on earth. You feel like everything you touch turns to gold. You're smiling at let me buy a So if you think about it, if you come in with a fun attitude, people are going to feel relaxed. You're probably going to sell more cars. So you're going to expand the fun you have by having fun.
Well, 100%.
Hey, I just took some notes about this whole conversation, and the why. We always talk about what is your why and what is your staff's why. And if somebody goes, I just want to have fun at work. Make money, but I want to have fun with my time at work. So that's the why. And now you can use the human imagination to take that, put it into an AI and go, okay, let me find out how to do that. In other words, what's your why? My why is to, have fun, but get $1 million in this business. Great. How are we going to do that? And you put that into the ChatGPT and say, hey, that's my goal. How am I going to do that? And, it'll break it down for you. And then you get to the what. Well, getting to the what is part of the fun. And just breaking that down is how do we get the fun in here? Individually, but doing it as a team. My dad said long ago, you can be as successful as you ever wanted to be in this one life of yours, but you can't do it alone.
100%.
I'm gonna jump into Wendy's human side of AI. While an AI may help you predict or put a path, do you remember when we got into business, Russell? There was one concern: making money.
Yeah.
Now you've got people that are almost as concerned with how much free time they'll have. Think how smart it is if you get a GM or an owner smart enough to say, I have enough people, everybody gets one Saturday off. You talk about fun, it feels like you're stealing your time back. So if there's things we can do, we want the electronic genius to roll through, but there's things we can do where we're good to ourselves, where we're good to the people around us, where we're good to the people we employ. And if we just set ourselves up to do things that are fun, I think the whole thing becomes easier. Because I don't think people treat themselves that well. I don't think they seek out the things that'll make them happy or fun. And then they wonder why they're not happy or having fun.
But also, Larry, they when they achieve a goal, let's say that goal or that target for a car salesman is 20 cars. They should take that time to enjoy that 20 cars. And one of the best, I think, job ads, I don't know if it was one of yours, Larry, or someone else posted, but it was at some company, and they said, yeah, unlimited time off as long as you hit the target, we don't care. Like, if you can hit those numbers, right. If it takes you 10 hours a day to do it, it takes you 5. And the reality is that's really, I think, what, to keep back to what Russell was saying, is you can have anything you want if you put in the work, but you also can say, hey, all I want is this. This is what I want. This is what it's going to take, and I can have fun doing it. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
We're back to the bottleneck of people not looking in the mirror and being realistic. There's talent on this show, a lot of talent, but I don't care how talented we are. You're not going to close more than 15% of the strangers that walk in the door. Yeah. If you're in repeat referral, you can close 70-75%. So why don't people focus more on prospecting? Now you're not praying that you get a customer on Saturday. You have 2 lined up. You make more money on repeat referral. You're controlling your schedule, your finances, and you don't have that horrible, annoying feel, oh my God, what if a customer doesn't come in? So once again, if we don't set up a path to success or to fun, how are we going to get there? Like having a nav and not putting the coordinates in.
Plus, you can have more fun with them because they already know who you are, Larry. So hopefully they know how crazy you are, right?
But this is, I don't know how many years ago all the manufacturers started the redos in building the drive-through. And manufacturer after manufacturer started making a drive-through. And everybody in all the dealerships were very, very excited about the drive-through. We're going to have customers come in. We're going to greet them. We're going to have hot coffee. We're going to have... Now, they're not using that space like it's supposed to be. Today, with all of the things that everybody's talking about, the customer that's driving into the service lane is your next sale. And for whatever reason, they fail to execute the things that are easy to make it comfortable. I mentioned earlier, when you had a Lexus and you bought it from Herb Chambers and you spent all the money for that Lexus, when you came for service, you were treated like kings and queens. And they were the first ones to have the muffins and the hot coffee. So, of course, you're paying for that service. So, right now, boy, if anyone's listening to what Russell had to say, and if it is to be, it's up to me. That service drive, F&I managers can start in there. Salespeople can go back there. Everybody can go into that service lane and make it warm and fuzzy for anybody driving in, regardless of they're getting an oil change or if they're just looking to see what the hours are. Hi, welcome to our service department. Let's get you out of the elements and let's help you service your vehicle. And we've lost it. We've forgotten it. We beg every day. Russell Hill teaches everybody and he shows them. And that's how you get fun back in the business. You treat customers like humans. You find out what's important to them. You know, if a customer has a pet, you cater to them with their pet. It's all common sense now. So, I mean, this is a great, I'm glad we had a nice conversation and we heard some great ideas, but it is. and that's why I enjoy this show so much. Is Larry does a wonderful job keeping it light, keeping everybody engaged, and talking about the good things, not the bad things. There's enough bad things out there. We can have a long show. Let's talk about what we're here for.
Exactly.
We're here to make customers happy, and however what is their transportation needs. Give it to them. Make it fun. Thanks.
Rhonda, Gary may have a point. How
Right
about
on.
our marketing for me to say success through mental instability?
Let's think about that before we do it.
Or you could say making it
No, wait a minute.
making
I know
it
how to
fun
close the show.
since making it fun since dot.
Wait, Ian. Think about it before we do something. That's no fun.
Making things fun since dot.
Yeah, well, that's my way of saying no, Larry. Sorry.
Listen.
Well,
I have fun every day. I had a fabulous day. And let me tell you something. If you don't think I have fun with Russell and Paul and Abdul and Wendy and Jeff and Mike and Gary and my man Ian and Rhonda's my girl, it's a pleasure. You guys are great. I appreciate the heck out of you. You're going to see more and better things. Ian and I are plotting and planning to expand things and have fun with it and do all kinds of things. So, as always, we just can't thank you enough for being here.
Yep.
Hey, one big show for us on this Friday. I've got my friend Bill Clem coming on our the Big Idea podcast, and Mr. Larkin's going to have us live. So
Wow.
very, very cool for us.
Please God, I don't know, but
if you need help, let me know.
Talk to Ian, and he knows how.
Yeah, if you need help, let me know.
Fun. Wait till Larkin's hitting the buttons and trying to figure out how to get us live.
Hey, the buttons like crazy.
Damn.
If you need some help, I've been doing it for a while. I can get it
Hey,
done.
this guy's a
Ian, I'll
cool
reach
guy.
out to you, man.
Yeah, no worries.
He's a cool guy. You guys will like the show.
Go ahead, Ian. Go ahead, Russell.
I know we're at the end, into the evening, but thank everybody for showing up for me today. And I hope all of you out there got something from each and every one of us. And if no one told you that they appreciated you and loved you, I just did.
And we
Thank
really
you.
love you.
Thank you. Y'all be good.
We'll see you next
Good night.
Wednesday.
Recording
stopped.
Enjoy your meal.
Everybody.
Yeah, right. I'm starving too, right? Watching him eat. All right, bye.